In the year 1685, Britain was ruled successively for a long time by Protestantistic monarchs. For example, Elizabeth I, James VI, Charles I, Charles II. Now in the year 1685, Charles II died, and he had no legitimate children. So they were all Protestantistic, the previous monarchs. Charles II was Protestantistic, but now his brother got onto the throne because Charles II had no children, no legitimate children. And his brother, James II, was a Catholic. So after all this time and these different monarchs of Protestants on the throne, there was suddenly a Catholic king on the throne. The people thought the next monarch will be a Protestant because the two children, the oldest one Mary, of James II were Protestantistic. So James II, the Catholic king now, in 1685, had two children, Mary, one of them, and they both were Protestants. Mary was married to William of Orange, the ruler of the Netherlands, who was also Protestant. So James II had an oldest daughter, Mary, a Protestant, who was married to a Protestant, the ruler of the Netherlands. Suddenly, the wife of James II got a son. And now the people thought, what if that son comes onto the throne? That might be a Catholic. And so they decided to invite in William of Orange, the ruler of the Netherlands, to invade Britain. And that happened without any resistance. That is the Glorious Revolution. No fighting happened in England. William of Orange, the Protestantistic ruler of the Netherlands, invaded without any fighting England, and he then started together the ruling with his wife Mary, the oldest Protestantistic daughter of James II. James II fled to Europe. James II wanted the throne back. So he invaded with help of the French army Ireland. But in the Battle of Boyne, they were defeated, and he fled back to France. In Scotland there was also an uprising, but that was in the Battle of Killiecrankie, also defeated. And the Scottish clans, they wanted also James II on the throne. They had to make an oath onto William on the throne. And there were, for example, the MacDonalds of Glenorchy. They didn't want to take the oath and they were massacred. And the remembrance of this massacre means that there are still for quite some time people wanting James back onto the throne. And they were called the Jacobites. And actually, a century later, there was the grandson of James II, his name Charles Edward Stuart, or Bonnie Prince Charlie. And there was now an uprising in Scotland again to get this Bonnie Prince Charlie, the grandson of James II, onto the throne. But that was in the Battle of Culloden defeated, this uprising, and the clans were dissolved, basically. So the chieftains of the clans became landlords, and the clansmen became tenants, and they had to pay to have the land. And also the Highland clearance started, and many of these crofts, these smaller farms, were bundled together to make grazing areas, to make space for large flocks of sheep and cattle. And that is all according to the Life in the UK Test Handbook, multiple pages, for example 30 and 31.